green confetti welcome for your hosts, Lolly D and Trainer Cal.
Yeah. Trainer Cal. Hey, Trainer Cal right there. That's what
Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Hey.
It's too early.
So happy to see everybody today. Cal, love to see you today. Look at your new shirt. He's got the new vibe shirt going. Look at him. He's all Instagram.
It's very brown, isn't it?
It's very.
I blend in.
Yeah.
I blend in.
Yeah. It's very something. I don't know what we would call it. But anyway, we like it, Cal. We always love you, Cal. Whatever you're wearing, you look great. So how's everybody today? This is such a great show. We're so excited. 3 things today that are amazing. Number 1 was Sturminator's birthday. We're all happy about that. We're all going to a big party a little later for the Sturminator. Excited about that. And he's 28 on the 28th, so that's kind of special. Number 2, the guitar man, who's going to be coming up here in just a minute, is going to sing for us a song that he's written, which is my favorite of his songs. It's absolutely fabulous about his family, and I love the song. So he'll be on up here in just a minute. And then our main event, our special guest, Mr. Rick Party, the voice of ESPN Sports Center, the disc jockey of Chicago, the man that's in the Black Radio Hall of Fame. We are so excited to have him as our special guest. So it's a great day for us this week. But Guitar Man, if you don't mind, if you could take the stage for us and sing that amazing song.
Oh, I'm definitely going to do that.
Uh-oh. We got to get Guitar Man up on stage. You're going to have to hit the button.
Just kidding.
Can we shut off the open mic, you guys? Shut off the open mic.
That's okay.
Yeah, there we go.
Now,
You're
mate.
good. You're good. You're good.
Brown. There we go.
Going closer.
There we go. You want me to?
I want to give
take
you
a
my
seat,
points
or you
as
want me to
well.
be in front.
Yes.
You're going to give him your points? I wanted points. No,
You can stay there.
I'll get off the stage. Okay.
I'm gonna chill right here in this chair.
All right. Let's listen. I'm excited.
Yeah, like Lolly D was saying, this is the song that she had requested. I played it for her once before, and she really liked it. So,
I want to be closer to
she
you when
wants
he's
me
going to sing.
share it with everybody.
I want to be close.
Yeah, the song's awesome.
Can you hear me?
Should we get our? We need our ladders.
Yeah.
We can hear
All right.
you.
All right, here we go. Sun is shining bright and it's such a lovely time. Let's get the kids and enjoy the day. Slip on your shoes, I topped off the tank.
How long is this?
Set the
chorus?
GPS. Girl, what do you
Hold on.
say?
Is the first time you've been here? So is this going to take so long? Too much? The program, I mean.
Plan the perfect day for all of us. Let's get out now and have a little fun. I checked the weather, the forecast is clear. It's what the weatherman said before he was done. I want to spend some family time with the kids and you. Let's take it all in, girl, like you wanna do. I wanna spend some family time with the kids and you. Just like that plan we had sometime back in June. No time like the present to kick off our shoes. So let's take it all in, girl, 'cause it's 2022.
Yes. That was great. Oh, and he has a bunch of wonderful original songs, but that is my favorite. And I thank you so much for playing it for us. Thank you. And I know you've got somewhere you have to go, but thanks for making the time for us today. We appreciate you very much.
I'll be here for another 30 minutes.
All right.
Beautiful song, my friend.
Enjoy. So, Cal, how you been?
Been good. Yeah, I've been good. It's been.
I know you've been busy.
It's been very busy, but not just on Horizon, but in the real world as well.
That's right. Yeah, I didn't tell them, but didn't you literally get out of your class you were teaching and jump in here like 3 seconds later this morning? Didn't you do that?
Basically, yes, I did. Yeah, I actually was a little bit nice to them. I said, "Oh, you've all done really well today. Let's finish a few minutes early." And then I was switching on my headset as I was saying it. And then there's always one. "Oh, but can I ask a question?" "Leave it. This for email me. It's fine." So the worst teacher award goes to me, by the way.
Well, we appreciate you rushing over to help us out today. So we love you, Cal. Okay, guys. Well, I don't want to waste any more time. I know we're all excited. We have this amazing special guest, Mr. Rick Party. I got a chance to spend some time with him on Saturday for a couple hours and learned what he's doing in the metaverse. And I'll tell you what, it's some exciting stuff. So I'm not going to waste any more time. I want to invite Mr. Rick Party to come out. Come out, sir. Where are you? Hopefully he's right backstage. There he is. All right. All right.
Right on.
Welcome, Rick. We're so happy to have you today. So excited. It's going to be great.
Thanks for having me. Now, I mean, it feels like so cool. I'm backstage. I'm nervous. I'm shaking. I'm like, oh my God, I'm backstage. I'm gonna go up. What am I gonna say?
Okay.
I'm surprised you didn't feel the stage. I'm surprised you didn't feel the stage rumbling. Me and Lolly's shaking more than you, I can tell you.
That was me. I thought that was me. Yeah.
It's an honor.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, I could start talking about you, but I'm going to let you tell the story. This is an incredible person. This is a person that has done so many things, who is doing so many things right now. You put the rest of us to shame as far as what you pack into a day. So why don't you give us a little background on Mr. Rick Party coming up to this point?
Well, yeah. So for those that don't know, I'm the voice of a Sports Center. So if you all listen to ESPN Sports Center, now on Sports Center, tonight the Lakers get defeated by, I don't know, whomever they play, or maybe they win. So I'm the voice of Sports Center. I've also voiced programs on ABC, BET, CNN, Cartoon Network. But before I got to this stage, a little kid growing up in Chicago was a stuttering mess. I was always nervous, and still that little kid lives inside of me to this very day, right? So me sitting backstage reminds me of that little kid, that I was. I'm in front of these people. I mean, I still get those jitters, but that's a good thing, right? Because that always brings us back to truly who we are, the humble, people that, that's underneath, who we are today. So before that, though, here I was, a little kid growing up in Chicago, listening to the radio personality every day. And I wanted to be like that guy because I stuttered so much. How can I get this smooth delivery? And he'd go, 102.7 BMX, this is Earl Boston. And I'd take my pen and paper and I read down everything he said, from weather to the greeting to goodbye. And I had a whole notebook filled with this. And I practiced every single day. And I would call him. Now, mind you, I'm still in school, right? I'm a freshman in school by this time. And he said to me, why are you calling me every day at 10 a.m.? And I said, I'm sick. He said, you've been sick for 3 months. Tell me what's going on. I said, I got kicked out of school. And he says, okay, so we need to fix this right away. So he talked to me about getting myself back in school. Now, at the same time, he also asked me to record him on the radio at certain times, and I didn't know what that was about. Turns out that his recording machine, his air check machine is what we call it, was broken down, so he didn't have a way to record himself. So he'd come over to get the delivered tape. But after that, he met my mom and he sat down with me and just had a real talk with me, and that just really inspired me to get back into school and really become that guy. Earl Boston is in his name, and for me, that's just really been what I've been about all of my life. just helping so many people. Because I say, if I'm a guy who stuttered as a kid and I'm heard around the world, I mean, who can't do this? Right? Who can't do this?
So I do want to interrupt you for just a minute, because the importance of mentors. I mean, you just said this man basically changed your life. He had a conversation with you and it made such an impact on you. And for him, it was probably just a little conversation, right? For you, it was life-changing. We have to all remember that, you know, when you have an opportunity to help somebody, you know, wow, look at the difference it can make in someone, right? So anyway,
absolutely.
Please.
No, that was pretty much how I got to where I am. But he talked me back into, you know, getting back into school. And then, you know, as I was watching television one day, I saw a commercial that said, "You can be a broadcaster. You know, sign up to Columbia School of Broadcasting today." So it's one of those things. And I go, oh my gosh, I can be on the radio like this guy. So I attended Columbia School of Broadcasting, and as a kid too, I was maybe like 16, 17. I think I lied about my age, but don't tell anybody about that. But in the meantime, there was a local Boys and Girls Club in Chicago, and they had a radio station called WCYC, and they were hiring kids, and I got a slot immediately. So not only was I working at a non-commercial radio station, but I was in the Columbia School of Broadcasting, honing my craft. And probably within 2-3 years, I was off. I sent my demo to different radio stations around the country. One program director turned me down. He said, "Kid, you're still young. You're still chewing bubble gum. There's no way that you could, you know, become a radio personality right now today." I was like, "Why not?" But I totally understood much later. But my first job that did accept me was in Wilmington, North Carolina. So me living in Chicago, this kid growing up in the urban area in Chicago, my first time ever flying. By this time, I'm 19 years old, right? By this time, and it's my first time ever flying, and it was spring, and no, it was winter in Chicago, and magically I flew from Chicago to North Carolina, and it was spring. I was like, how did this happen? You know, not, you know, me thinking that the weather is snowing everywhere, right? So it was just an amazing experience. Right. I took my first job, probably getting paid like $2 an hour. But let me tell you, I had the time of my life. You know, someone said to me that it's the journey that you're going to enjoy the most. I didn't realize how dirt poor I was. I didn't realize any of that. All I knew is that I had fun and I was actually doing radio, and people were actually hearing me in Wilmington, North Carolina at 3:00 in the morning. I'm like, wow. So, you know, yeah. So after 2 weeks, they bumped me up to the afternoon show, and here I am, this kid with this incredible talent. After a couple months, I'd gone on in Macon, Georgia. They hired me, and then Charleston, South Carolina, and then Dallas, Miami, and then finally back to Chicago after leaving in '88 to come back to '92 to the radio station I grew up listening to.
Wow, that's amazing. And you know,
that's my radio.
Lesson.
Yeah.
There's a great lesson for kids in here, because a lot of the kids today, not all of them, but a lot of the kids today say, you know, mine included, you know, I graduated from college. So, you know, hand me the money, right? It's like, no.
right.
So,
yeah, speaking of which, my mom, though. Yeah.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I mean, you took that job 3:00 in the morning, you know, for hardly any money, but you knew that your talent would be recognized. So you took the opportunity, and you can't keep the cream of the crop down. You just can't. It pops up and rises. So, you know, when you get a opportunity, when you're young like that, even though it's not the optimal opportunity, grab it. You never know where it's going to go, right?
And
so
I think
it's a good
what
lesson
I love
for kids.
most about that as well is that you took something you believed was a imperfection about yourself and turned it into an aspiration. You saw something, you were like, I can't do this, but hell, I'm going to do this. And you did it. Like, if everyone had done that, this world would be perfect. Like, I'm now sat here thinking, what am I bad at? And the list is huge, by the way. I'm not going to bore you because you'll fall asleep. And I was like,
no, me too. Yeah.
Something, if I turn that into something that I want to do,
right.
Wow. Like, that's a really good outlook on life. I like that.
Yeah, and still today. So once I did make it to radio in Chicago, I had the #1 ratings, and radio stations from LA to DC to some of the biggest markets in the world wanted to hire me, right? And that really made me feel good. So I had to think about my pivot, like what's next for me, after radio. So that's when people had always said, "Hey, you should consider doing voiceover." I'm like, "What the heck is voiceover? I don't know what that is." and then when I found out, I said, "Oh no, I don't want to do that. I've got to put this together, and I've got to get my voice to do this and that." I was like, "No way, I'm not even interested in that." And then one day, someone gave me who remembers like the CD-ROMs, like a little CD-ROM. It was a software, yeah, with the program. There, you know what I'm talking about. There you go. There's a program called Cool Edit. So it's an editing program that you just kind of slip into your computer, and then opens this this editing software. And when I got this, I was like, "Oh my gosh, do you know what I'm about to do with my life?" Like, I don't even have any idea what I'm going to do, but something's going to happen, right? But I learned how to edit. And then at that moment, I took my voiceover career seriously while still in radio. So I called a few of my friends that were successfully doing voiceover, and I said, "Hey, what mic should I buy? What compressors? What equalizers?" And they gave me a load of stuff. And I was like, "Gosh, I got to save up for this and save up for that," because back then that stuff was really expensive. And then I made my first complete demo to become the voice of radio stations, like the signature voice. You know, that voice that goes, "Call in now to win $1,000, 244," that guy, right? So there you go. Yeah. So I sent my demo in, and I posted it on a radio site, and the guys go, "Oh, that's horrible, man." And my company, by the way, was named Sizzle Productions, right? And they say, "Yeah, this your demo, it's more like sizzling, man. It's not cracking at all. It's not good." Like, I don't hear any pop in it, man. What's going on? So I went back into the lab, into the studio, spent hours and hours, day in and day night, and perfected the studio. This demo. Then I sent it to some of the top programmers, program directors, and radio stations. And immediately I got calls from everyone. We want you to be the voice on 30 or so radio stations. Like, "Oh my gosh, how can I do this?" And from that moment, my voiceover career for radio imaging promo was born. And I lived off that for a long time. And to me, in my mind, I was set. But still in radio, I'd go to New York City as the morning show host. And then there's a network, BET at the time. They were looking for a voice, and a friend of mine who worked there said, "Hey, I know someone who does voiceover. He'd be great for a promo that you're looking for." So they sent me a script. I sent it back immediately, and they said, "You got it. Your voice is going to air on the network." And for 9 years, I was the voice of that network, and I'd also become the voice of ABC for promos like Detroit 187 and Top Rank Boxing. Tonight, Manny Pacquiao fights I don't know whomever he was fighting, right? So I was the voice of the BET and Top Rank Networks and ABC, and I had done Disney and American Airlines and Cartoon Network and so many people. And today, for it'll be 5 years in 2023 as the voice of SportsCenter on ESPN.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
But I know I keep saying this, but look at how many ways and how many times along the way you could have been discouraged. And people look at someone like you and they go, "Oh, he was just in the right place at the right time. He's just lucky. He's lucky." Because that's what they always say about people that are successful. But all you had to do was get discouraged when that person said that's sizzling and said, "Oh, I don't have it." Right? That's all you had to do and end it all. But you didn't. And look at you now. That's you.
Yeah.
That's you moving yourself forward. Doesn't just take talent. It takes motivation and drive. And that's amazing. That's a great story. That was really great. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I always tell people, so I always say that the thing that did keep me in the door, I always say talent gets you in the door, but the hard work and the reliability keeps you in the door. They always say that talent is dime a dozen. You can find talent, but if we can't work with you, if you don't understand that advertising is a multi-billion-dollar business, it doesn't matter how amazing your voice is or how amazing you think that you are. If you don't understand that first, that this is a business and we can't make money together, you're not good. You're not a good partner here. So
That's right.
I understood that, and that kept me, in the game of voiceover and/or radio.
It reminds me of a story. My kids
Mm-hmm.
took some acting lessons with a guy named Gary Spatz, and he was the person who put together the Disney Kids, right? Which was Justin Timberlake, Britney Spears, and people may or may not know that Jessica Simpson was also considered part of that group. In fact, she's probably one of the more talented. She was very, very talented.
Okay.
Yeah, and Christina Aguilera too. But Jessica Simpson's father was very adamant about that she would have things this way and things would be done for her that way. And so this is what you're talking about. You've got to get along. You've got to mix in to the way it all works, the politics of it all. And they didn't conform. And so guess who wasn't a Mouseketeer? She wasn't. And so it's all part of it. The talent is a part of it. But yes, you got to have all the rest of the components too. So go ahead.
Yeah, no, that's so important. I mean, it's so important to business. I mean, whatever we do in life, and I really just took that, what I learned to everything that I now do. Everything is about business. It's about business, and that's really it's been my key to success. So when I talk to my mentees, I tell them it's not about how great you think you are. It's not about you. I'm trying to find it says house rules. No. So I'm trying to keep it clean. You don't have to, I'm trying to find what to say this. I'll just say kiss butt. That's what they say. Right. So it's not about that. It's about business, and you have to look out for yourself and the company you're working with. When you look at yourself as a business partner rather than an employee, it all makes sense and it works for you because they need you as much as you need them. No one gives anyone a handout in life. They do, but for the most part, when it comes to business, they don't, right? Because they're all in it for one thing, and it's to make money. Yeah.
Right. That's so true. So true.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now you told me you're still working at the radio station in Chicago right now. You are still, right?
Yeah.
So we can't go ahead. We can't hear it here. Well, if you're in Chicago, you can. But where all can they hear that show? Do you know where it's all playing?
Well, yeah. The show airs on if you have the Odyssey app. AUDACY. So the station is called 1043 Jams. In fact, my show is on right now. So it's pre-recorded. It's pre-recorded right now. So
that's
you do?
Man. That's an old school, the 2000s, man. Right?
Yeah, they play.
Yeah.
Throwback hip hop. Yeah, it's hip hop from the 90s and 2000s. That's right. So it's in Chicago, and the cool thing about it is that there's stuff play like Nelly, and they play some Justin Timberlake. They play some some of that good stuff. The beauty about it is, though, after working in Chicago for 30 years ago was the first time that I 30 years this year, in fact, the radio station WBMX, which has the same call letters, that was actually the call letters of the station that I listened to as a kid, and they hired me back. Different frequency, 104.3 Jams and 102.7. They hired me back a year ago, and it's been a dream. It's been a dream.
Yeah, that's had to feel great.
30
that's
years.
Awesome.
Yeah. So I launched I launched something called the syndicated show where we're heard on more than one market, and my other show comes on from 7 till 11 Pacific in Seattle at a star station called Star 101.5, and they play 90s and now. So it's not hip hop. It's kind of more like some, I don't know, you may hear some Aerosmith, you may hear some Lizzo. It's a mixture of a nice menagerie of mess. Good mess, I call it. So yeah. So
nice. We like that.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's a good mix.
Absolutely.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, now tell us how you're such a busy guy. You got all this stuff going on. What the heck are you doing in the metaverse? How do you have time?
Well, the funny thing about it, when I think about my life, where I've come from, this kid who stuttered a lot, and still you may hear me stutter sometimes a day. It reminds me that kid still lives with me. And I'm sure there's something in each and every one of you that reminds you of who you were then and probably are still today. So I started on an app called Clubhouse, which is a social audio app. And we did a play called The Lion King. And that garnered like over 6 million hits all across social media. If it were tags, mentions, and everything, people like the great Ava DuVernay, and she's a producer of many movies, and Drake the rapper, and Questlove, and they were just some of the people that were actually in the audience listening to it, and they were just amazed how 50 people or so around the country can pull off this audio stage play with sound effects, music, and singing. It was like a musical audio, and I just so happened to be the narrator, and which in fact got me an IMDb listing as well, which is so cool.
All right.
And then that helped with my prominence on the social audio app Clubhouse, and people were asking, how do I get into voiceover? And I said, duh, how about you make a room and start a voiceover room? So immediately after that play, I started, teaching voiceover for the past year or so. And then I saw the Oculus. I don't know what was going to be inside the Oculus. And I downloaded Horizon Worlds, and I said, maybe I can take the same type of teachings on Clubhouse into the metaverse. And I said, okay, if I can do this, and I didn't understand, what's a world? Like, what do you mean, what's a world? Like, how do you make it? Like, who do you get to build it? So I found some builders, and we created something in my mind called Voiceover Metaverse. So the same teachings that I gave on Clubhouse, we're now doing here on in Horizons, and we do it every Saturday, 12 Eastern. And I had some good friends of mine create a script that we have in the room, and we sit around the table and we dissect the script. And when I say dissect the script, most people think when you look at a commercial script, you can just read it, and it doesn't matter if you if you don't have a great voice, you're not good for it, right? That's what you think. But the truth of the matter is, when it comes to voiceover, it's about connecting with the consumer. And once we understood that, then we taught them how to dissect the script. Like, you take a little script, for example, we were working on something called Mercedes S-Class. And the lines are, the faster it goes, the better I feel. The new Mercedes S-Class. Now, when you take that commercial, right, the way we dissect it, we say, okay, when you look at this script, what time of the day is it? Where are you? Is it cold? Is it hot? How do you feel in the car? So each line, the first line goes, the faster it goes. So how fast are you going? So we really have people think about that. And the better I feel, what does that mean to you? For me, it means, okay, I'm stuck in traffic, and I get to finally take off, and I can sit back and I can jet off. And it feels like a cold glass of water. So I go, the better I feel, the new Mercedes S-Class. And when you say S-Class, it's like, you don't have to go, the new Mercedes S-Class, because it's about sophistication. It's about class. It's about style. You don't have to brag about it. It is what it is, the new Mercedes S-Class. So we take even something so simple like that, we dissect it. And you had the experience. You had a chance to do it yourself. Yeah.
I did.
So what was it?
I did.
Yeah. What was that experience?
Well, I will tell you guys, I thought, I got this. So then they're like, no, do it more breathy. And I'm like, what? More breathy? So it's like, so I'm like trying to get this. I will just tell you, it is not easy. I give all of you guys so much credit, because Meta Voice was in there. He did a great job, right? There were a few people that we know that were in there. He really did. For me, it was a stretch, and I don't think I did that great of a job. I would tell you, I can swim too, but I am no Michael Phelps. So I will tell you,
you did a great job, by the way. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It was an experience, but I can see the benefits of what you teach. And L.Michelle, she's an amazing woman. She was really, really helpful in there, and I think you have something amazing there. I think many people could benefit from that in here. And you're already your class was packed on Saturday.
Yeah, no.
So
it's it's a free class for now. So on Saturdays we do it at 12 o'clock. And L.Michelle right there, raise your hand, L.Michelle, if you can. She's sitting over there.
You're here, L.Michelle. Yes.
Yeah, she's here.
Gosh. Yes. She's great.
I invited her to be a part of it because when I met her on Clubhouse, her profile said the voice master. I'm like, the voice master? Who are you? I've never heard of you before.
Can we invite her up? Can we invite her up?
Yeah, come on. Yeah, come over here, L.Michelle.
Come on up. This lady has the most beautiful voice. I just want to hear her talk. Just talk.
Here, I'll let you sit here next to Lolly. Come over here by Lolly.
She's got that lovely voice, so soothing, beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you
Hi.
so much.
So
nice to see you.
I
Good to see
invited
you,
L.
too.
Michelle because on her profile it said the voice master. I'm like, who is this? What do you mean voice master? We never heard of you in the voiceover community, right? So is it Berkeley you attend? What's your school?
Got
The school you were
accepted at
attending?
Berkeley, and before
She got
my
accepted in
communications.
Berkeley, right?
Yeah.
So let me say this before she gets into that. She knows everything about the voice. I mean, she sings opera. She plays the trumpet. She plays the flute. She probably plays instruments we've never even heard of before. And the things that she could do with her voice. I mean, she knows about voice care. And I said, this would be a perfect duo to have L. Michelle with me, because there were questions people were asking me like, Rick, how do I take care of my voice because it hurts? I'm like, I don't know. I go to sleep, drink some water. So L. Michelle would say, you'd say something like what? What you say to them when they say, oh, my voice is scratchy. What do I do?
I would make sure to tell them things like, make sure you hydrate, make sure you're not doing any throat clearing, and all of these things that actually exhaust the voice. And then I'd ask them my question. Now,
Sorry, I just cleared my throat there. I'm
sorry. Because it exhausts the vocal cords even more, because it causes it's traumatic when you clear your throat, things like that. And then I go on into detail depending on what it is.
Yeah.
You be the new Siri.
So,
What did you say?
oh yeah, she does it.
Yeah.
No, she does. She can do she
Siri.
does the voice of Alexa. Like, have you ever heard the voice of Alexa? She does voices. She does voices like that. And let them hear what that sounds like.
Okay.
You can tell me anywhere to go.
Absolutely. In a quarter of a mile, turn left, turn right. Snoop Dogg's clothing will be on your left.
Wow.
Yeah, I spent a couple hours with these guys, and I just came out of there all relaxed. It just felt like I'd been in a sauna. It was just like so nice and smooth in there. You guys were great. That was a great experience. I loved it very much. I recommend it to anyone who's interested in voiceover work, because you will get insight into what it takes, and it's some dedication and some work. It's impressive.
It absolutely is. It absolutely is.
No, yeah. So I love it. So she joined the team, and it's been a great experience. Just really meeting the people that are there. For example, Meta Voice. He walks around. Hi, I'm Meta Voice with this big voice, and his first shot at the commercial was the Mercedes. The new Mercedes S-Class. The faster it goes, the better I feel. The new Mercedes S-Class. I go, no. Bring it down. The voice you use when you first wake up. And he goes, I promise you had to be there to witness it. He goes, the faster it goes, the better I feel. The new Mercedes S-Class. And we were like, whoa!
Yeah!
That was amazing! And he goes, don't you tell anybody about that. Don't you tell it. Yeah, so
No, you guys had him all smooth. He actually, I know he I don't know if he's here, but I know he enjoys it too. He told me he learned a lot in that class. So yeah, he's learning to tone that voice down. And when you learn something, I mean, for me, it's always been the excitement voice. It's very difficult for me to talk in that, sort of I don't know. I hate to call it monotone, but very smooth. And it's tough. You learn to talk this excitement to make everything sound better. But I see where you mean. It does kind of say it's like it's stated. You don't have to pump up Mercedes. You just let it out. Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah, because oftentimes in voiceover, people think it's really all about them and their voice, and it's really not. It's about the product. You just you want to be the voice that's that lies behind. Because sometimes when we watch a documentary, we really never pay attention to the voice. We pay attention to the story. So the gift goes into telling the story without bringing attention away from what they're listening to and are seeing. But so that's what voice is really all about. And there's so many genres to voiceover. You're going to say what, L.Michelle?
I was going to say, absolutely. It's something I always say, and you've said it many times before too. It's the theater of the mind. It takes the attention away, and it causes you to think and picture everything that you're seeing. When you're listening, you do forget about the voice. And that actually is an amazing skill to develop, because we're so used to a certain style or a dated time period of voice. The old radio announcing, right? And the 102.7
BMX, call in now.
exactly. And so we kind of teach people, to get back to that storytelling. It's type of storytelling. It's theater of the mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So what's next for you guys then? Like, what big things do you have coming up in the future? You got any plans you can tell us, or what's that?
Well, a lot of things are NDAs, so we can't talk. Most of the time, when you get a voiceover job, you can't talk to your friends. Hey, guess what? I just got hired for this. They just kind of hear it when it drops, because once you sign the agreement, and they're big projects, and we get them all the time, and it's pretty exciting. But for now, this to me is the most promising thing that I'm doing, because like many of you could be doing anything else in the world, but you're here and Soapstone, and you're here in the metaverse for a reason. And I just see that it's a very promising place. And for me, everything's going to come right back here to the metaverse, regardless of what I'm doing out there. I'm going to say, but still, hey, by the way, check me out in the metaverse. It's an exciting place. This is where we're going to live.
Yeah, totally agree.
Yeah.
Hey, would you guys mind taking a few questions from our audience? Are you guys okay with that?
Oh, I don't mind at all.
All right. So at this point, I think Cal and I are going to turn it all over to you guys. Is there somebody who wants to come up and ask a question? If you do, just come here to the end of the stage, and let's ask Rick and L.Michelle any questions. I know they covered a lot for us.
Yeah,
come on up.
Come on up, man.
Okay.
Come on.
All the way up.
All the way up, man. All the way up.
Sure, come on up. There you go.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm sure you get a lot of questions like, oh, how do I get into voiceovers and whatnot? But can you tell me what to stay away from?
Stay away from anyone that's going to help you make a demo right away. A demo it's a sample of what your voice sounds like. And demos are normally a minute and a half, and they say, oh, you've got a great voice. Let's make a demo and get you in a voiceover. That's the wrong thing. You may have a great voice. And I always give this example. And you've got a nice voice, by the way. So let's take 3 guys with the same exact voice as you, right? But who gets the job? The person who knows how to dissect the script and deliver it to the consumer. The other guys may not know, but if you know that, you're going to get the job. So now you spent thousands of dollars on this demo and you don't have the skill. You're going to be sitting there at a deficit. So stay away from anyone who wants to help make you a demo without getting the skill first. So take a voiceover class first. Yeah, that's what I say first. Yeah.
All right. And we know where you can take one on Saturday at noon.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think I gotta wash my boat.
Okay. All right. Anybody else got a question? Come on. Sturm, no questions, Sturm? You always have a question. No questions today?
He's recording.
No, he's busy. Oh, he's recording.
Wait, not too many people at one time. Don't run on the stage. Yeah.
Come on, Killer B. How you doing, sir?
Yeah, I'm doing great. Hey, I'm glad that we're here because we work in the radio industry with broadcasters.
Oh, cool.
And I would love to ask you a question because I was just telling Meta Olivia to write a blog about this because when we're talking to radio broadcasters and we mention the metaverse, they poke fun of it and think it's a joke. And I love to hear what you guys are doing. So when you first got involved and thought about the metaverse, what was the response from the radio industry or the broadcasting industry for you?
Well, I'm a guy that they actually listen to. So they listened to me once. They listened to me, but they goes, oh, it sounds so confusing. But believe it or not, I've talked a lot of people into getting in. And some of them are going to buy themselves an Oculus just to see what it's all about because I'm posting the photos. I'm sharing the videos. And even L.Michelle, I talked her into it. I mean, right away, she didn't question it right away. She jumped in. She made more friends than I have for sure. So I like people like that are proactive because I believe like when you're proactive, you get to it. You get to the cheese a lot faster. And you win the hearts and the souls. And for me, not only, is it going to be a great business for her, but she's actually changing lives. I mean, just being around her. I mean, she's meeting so many, sometimes we're in these spaces and a bunch of kids are here and she gets a chance to counsel these kids and they're listening to her and they're crying to her. And, so I believe it's going to be a great place. It's going to be a slow build, but I believe they're going to come around. In fact, speaking of which, iHeartMedia, they've built iHeartLand, I believe in Decentraland or something like that, and they're going to be coming to Horizons, I'm sure, pretty soon. And I'm going to actually talk my good people into ESPN into coming over here as well. So, listen, once they see the big brands here, more of them are going to come this way.
Yeah, that's great because actually I was just at an event speaking, and the people that were poking fun, I was one of the keynotes, but then iHeart mentioned the day before about them releasing iHeartLand, and I think it's like the I think it was, I don't remember which word it was, but yeah, then everybody started taking it more serious. So that's what we're learning too, is getting them in, let them experience it, and it changes their whole mindset. So thank you so much, Rick. I really appreciate it, and thank you all for doing this. This is awesome. We love it. So
no, you're welcome.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Anybody else got a question? Anybody else? We're good? Okay. Wow, this has been great. I mean, having you two here has been wonderful. I'm going to drop back in that voiceover class when I have a free Saturday, because that is really something fun and interesting to watch. And as I said, you learn a lot just about conversation, actually, just how to use your voice in different ways, and it's amazing. It's just amazing. So that's pretty much it for us today, you guys. We do have also a comedian that's going to come up for us in a few minutes, Mr. Logistical Solutions. So if you want to head backstage and give me a minute, and we're going to finish up here, and then the stage will be yours. But the two of you, thank you so much for making this time for us. I know you're both extremely busy, and we so appreciate you taking out your time of your day today. Thank you.
No, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, thank you for having us. But listen, if anyone wants to see any of my work, you can go to my website, which is RickParty.tv. So .tv has a whole list of what I do professionally. You can hear that work and you can see it. And then on RickParty.com, there's just a menagerie of mess, I call it. Just everything that I do, from radio to voiceover. There's actually VO commercial scripts, some stuff that you can actually practice before you come into voiceover universe, the world here on Horizons. And that's about it. Yeah. And you, L.Michelle?
Right. And as far as me, you can follow me on Instagram, because there will be sneak peeks of what's to come.
Oh, great idea. All right.
Upcoming. So it's L.Michelle.McCray with no periods. And you'll see a little bit about some people I've worked with on there. You'll hear from them on Instagram. And then all the sneak peeks are coming.
Oh, that'd be great. Yeah, that's a great idea. Thank you, Michelle. That'd be great, great, great. All right, everybody. Let's give it up for Rick Party and L.Michelle. Thank them for coming in to see us today.
Guys.
We love it. It's been wonderful.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you. All right, you guys can get rid of this talk show set. We're going to evacuate the stage, and we're going to turn it over to Mr. Logistical. Let him have his opportunity to give us some comedy. Come on out, Mr. Logistical. There you go. Here he comes, Logistical Solutions. The stage is yours, sir.
Thank you. How's everybody doing today? Good morning, good afternoon. Thank you all for coming by.
Let's go
really
outside.
appreciate it.
Let's go out here.
Thank you to our guests that came up here and got to share their life experiences and their awesome careers with us. That's really inspiring, especially for those of us that are looking to get into the same field and, change our stations in life. But regardless, can I see a show of hands of anybody that likes yard sales? Anybody here like yard sales? Yeah?
I love yard sales.
Yard sales are pretty cool, right? Anybody else like gaslighting old people into selling you their stuff for dirt cheap at yard sales? You know how that goes? That's definitely a win for me personally. It's actually been my weekend go-to since summer started. I like to start the conversation off something like this. Like, Karen, I really appreciate everything that you got here and I like your offer. But despite the fact that you got into college for $7,000 and you may have bought this 3-bedroom house for $30,000, I'm definitely set on taking home this silverware set for $8. And there's no compromise in that.
That's funny.
But yeah, I mean, you gotta take what you can take, right? She keeps haggling me. No, I don't want the Elvis plates. Okay, you can keep the Elvis plates. I just want the silver and gold. Arg, you know what I'm saying, the booty. Hey. But yeah, I do routinely cosplay as a pirate while yard sailing on weekends. So
that's good.
It's just a thing that I like to do. Make a little extra money flipping stuff on eBay. and it's essentially recycling. You know, I'm just keeping their stuff out of a landfill, and so I take a lot of pride in the fact that I can make a good deal, because as long as I don't leave any marks on anybody and I don't have the police coming after me, then I know that it's a legitimate deal. You know what I'm saying? Not a complete steal, but almost a steal.
That's right.
So, yeah. Anybody fly planes or fly planes for work? Fly in planes? Anybody? If you're familiar with airports, then you're familiar with airport security, right? And you know, that can make people nervous sometimes. And sometimes when you get nervous, you get a bellyache. And sometimes the only thing that can help that bellyache is our favorite pink drink, Pepto-Bismol, right, folks? You know what I'm talking about. Pepto-Bismol.
Right.
It's actually the ultimate aphrodisiac. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but the Bismol and Pepto-Bismol is bismuth. It's a mineral. It's a metal of sorts, a naturally occurring one, and it's the ultimate aphrodisiac. But unfortunately, if you get really nervous before you go onto planes and you drink a whole bunch of it, I'm speaking from experience now, you will set off the metal detectors at the security points in the airport. And I'm not joking with you. But, you know, I ended up not having nervous farts on the plane like I thought I would. That's why I took the Pepto-Bismol. But I did end up getting felt up that day. And, you know, now we're going to get married next week. So
that's right.
It's all working out. It's all working out for me. Pepto-Bismol, the aphrodisiac, folks. So, yeah. Anybody else here single? Anybody single? I'm only single for another week. Like I just said, we're getting married next week to a TSA agent. I love her. But if you're still single and you happen to be really excited to go out on a date that night and you just forgot to straighten up the house, you know, before you went out, but you took care of everything else. You know, you got your hair did, you got your nails done, you got your all stuff real cute looking, and then you just ran out of the house and you wound up bringing somebody home. You know, when you see a woman coming over to your house and it's all clean and everything, she might think, oh, where's the other woman at? You know what I mean? This guy isn't really single. Where are the pictures at hiding his wife? Why does it smell so good in here? This guy's got candles lit, looking under the bed, looking in the closets. Where's she at? I know you got another girl in here, right? It's not a good look, guys. So next time when you're starting to straighten up and you think you might be doing a little too much, just leave that stiff hand towel on the lampshade. You know, it's an aesthetic. I'm just here to help you guys land that lucky lady in your life. All right, folks? My name is Logistical Solutions. You can follow me on Instagram at Wheel Heel. That's the wheel on a bike and the heel on your foot. And thanks for having me and listening to my silly jokes. I appreciate it. Good day.
That's funny.
Hooray. Good stuff right there.